Hi guys, so I just got back from the Wolverine. I'll start off by saying this movie is better than Wolverine Origins, so don't worry about that. In my opinion, Wolverine Origins, it did have some good moments in it. There was some good action scenes, but overall the story was a big mess, and a lot of it didn't make any sense. Some of the CGI was terrible in the Wolverine Origins or Wolverine Origins, and the whole thing about Logan losing his memory was just I don't know, it was just ridiculous. I know they had actually a deleted scene where they had a whole other story about Logan losing his memory, and they should have gone with that because the explanation in Wolverine Origins was terrible. Anyway, so let's get that out of the way. It's better than Wolverine Origins. The thing with this film is, though, it's good. I enjoyed most of it. Um, I enjoyed these characters. I enjoyed the interaction Logan had with these characters. They were interesting to me. But I just wasn't wowed by this whole story. It was a little bit formulaic, if I'm being honest. And the villain in this was kind of weak, really. Didn't feel any sort of I didn't really care for the villain. I know you're not supposed to like the villain, but you either like sort of admire them in a way, like Loki or Zod, but you know they're the villain, or you hate the villain, you despise them. But when you really don't care about the villain, then that's a problem for me in the film, and I did have that problem with this film. It's got a very weak villain in it. It's also got plot holes. In the trailer, for instance, I'm not giving anything away. In the trailer, you'll see that Logan is having trouble healing. Something's happened to him. Now, that's all well and good. But like when you've got scenes where he's like bringing out his adamantium claws and he's fighting, and he's like getting hurt and he's having trouble healing, and then suddenly his adamantium claws go back inside, and then his hands completely heal. How that's something like that, staring the makers of this movie straight in the face, saying, "Oh look, okay, his claws have gone back in his hands. How can you not realise that they wouldn't heal back up again? How can you miss that kind of thing out?" That to me was, and it bothered me because it happened so much during this film. And as I said, the story and the interaction with the characters and everything, it was really good. I did enjoy it, and probably the biggest letdown is that when it builds up to the climax, the big climax where you have the showdown with the villain, the whole thing with the whole sort of plot sort of comes a bit obvious, and you kind of know what's going to happen at the end, and what's going on and what's going to happen, as I said, and you're sort of not surprised by anything at the end, and it sort of is a bit of an anti-climax for me. The best thing is there is a mid-credit. Best thing about the film actually is not the film, is a mid-credit scene, a real good movie stinger. Thankfully they didn't put it on the end of the credits, so I don't have to wait all the way to the end of these movies. I think they're now, finally, they're doing some credits and then they're putting these things on, and then that's it. I think you have to thank Avengers for that, for putting the mid-credit scene in, and then not. Well, I know they did that joke one at the end of the credits, but the actual proper, interesting stuff, mid credits, that's the best way to go, and I hope they continue doing that. So we don't have to sit through the end of all the words coming up, and I'm sure the ushers will thank all the people that make movies for doing that too. So overall, I enjoyed it for the most part. It's a good film. It's got some really good action. It's just got a slightly disappointing ending, and the villain is just not good. So for me, for the Logan parts and the interaction with the main characters, I'll give it 3 stars out of 5. Also, there's a thing that happens to Logan that doesn't get rectified, and I really hope. It kind of bothers me too, and I kind of hope that in the days of future past that gets sorted out, because even in the mid-credits stinger, which is fantastic, even when that happens, this thing hasn't been rectified. So I really hope, you know, please they get this this sorted, because I can't say too much more. But overall, the film was good. 3 stars out of 5.